but they actually are frequently, really devoid of any scientific guidance. So one of the things that the Earth Institute does is the bridging between the two. The other thing is the Earth Institute brings together the different scientists who, again, are usually well-versed in their own line of thinking, but don't necessarily know how to work with other scientists. So for instance, I now work closely with Dr. Vijay Modi, an engineer, because he is working on the improved cook stoves, and I am measuring the effects on respirations in children and levels of pneumonia. So what the Earth Institute does is it brings people together, the organizing principle being problem solving. And I would say that the three main problems that the Earth Institute is focusing on, but it's a gross exaggeration because it's sort of more multifold, but one is extreme poverty, the other is environmental degradation, and then the third is global warming, climate change. And so the Earth Institute sort of pools people's expertise and allows for experts and scientists of different walks of life to discuss problems together, because often it's by thinking about a problem from different angles that you come up with a better solution. And then the last piece that I would say that we're sort of developing at the Earth Institute that I'm actually involved with myself is really trying to also make the university be less confined to people only of university affiliation. So we actually started something called Community Lab, which is a group of us at the Earth Institute who are actually soliciting, and I think I met one young woman a moment ago. We're soliciting people from all walks of life who may not have the full-time, may not be able to afford full-time commitment to problem solving, but would like to be involved in some of these issues. And so we actually invite all comers to join us. And what we do is we sort of figure out what the person's area of expertise or their comparative advantage is, and therefore put people together to modularly work on certain things that will, in total, then be helpful in problem solving. So for instance, we have about 100 students all over the country, mostly up and down the East Coast, but all over the country, working on community health worker system. And the way that we can involve people who are not even certainly not at Columbia University, certainly not at Earth Institute, or not even in New York, is by parceling out the community health worker problem in certain bite-sized components of it that can be spun off and worked on by 3 or 4 people who only have 5 hours a week or whatever, because they're graduate students. And so, for instance, one group in Boston is working on the management system of the community health worker. Another one is working on, what would be the ideal supervision system, performance remuneration. And so we're sort of parceling out different parts of, I'm just using this as an example, that different groups can work on. And then, of course, we get together every week by Skype or by telephone to convene and make sure that that there is a constant vetting and revetting of the conversation. So this is a long way of saying that please, anybody with any level of expertise, we really would welcome and actually would be more than happy to discuss either now or later. My email is ssachs@ei.columbia.edu, ssachs@ei.columbia.edu.
It seems like Marcia has one real short question.
I just wanted to add to what you just said. I used to work at the Sustainable Development Division here in water, and so I was speaking to somebody from the Water Center at Columbia. There's now a water center, and I think they would be happy to get like scientific research that all of us are doing, and they're going to digitalize it and make it available. Thank you.
Same thing is happening with, at Columbia University, same thing is happening with the soil. Somebody is working, actually Pedro Sanchez, the agronomist who specializes, who's the head of the Tropical Agriculture Institute, has just launched, and actually just 2 days ago had one of the first meetings of the digital soil map. where the same thing, sort of, it's taking the whole world and making sure that every aspect of all the characteristics of the different nutrients is characterized so that people can use that then. If you're living in a particular area, you can actually look up what are the known characteristics of that particular terrain so that you can have some access to the answers and some of the problem-solving solutions. And so the same thing actually should be done with if I could talk to you after that. Yeah, thank you.
So, Sonia, I would like to thank you very much once again for all the magnificent work that you do, but I was just thinking as you were talking that certainly our thanks really pales in regards to the thanks of the 500,000 people whose lives have changed markedly because of what you've done. And we know that you also have a very good person on your team, so thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, too, and he has a magnificent person on his team. So let's give a round of applause for Sonia Sachs. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you just stay seated, and we will just invite Jim to come right up, and we will have our final film. Thank you.